Good evening and thanks for joining us. I'm Chief Meteorologist Jesse Gunkel with the very latest on Tropical Storm Cristobal as it continues to move further inland. Now actually sitting a few miles north of New Orleans. That's of the latest advisory at 10 p.m. You can see the winds have dropped to 45 miles per hour. It is currently starting to weaken as it picks up a little bit of forward speed and starts to move towards the state of Mississippi, almost towards the North Shore, eventually driving into Mississippi probably later on tonight after midnight, so that by the time you wake up early tomorrow morning, it should be driving past Monroe, or at least past I-20, and then sliding up into Arkansas and quickly racing off towards the Great Lakes. So again, right now it's about 20 miles north-northwest of New Orleans at this point. You can see the current track right now. By Monday morning at 7 a.m., the winds will have dropped to 35 miles per hour. That puts it as a tropical depression. By Monday evening, down to 30 in Arkansas, just a little bit north of Little Rock, and then the tail end, well, it heads all the way up to Wisconsin, but it will leave a tail of rain, and that is the issue because we're not done with the rain quite yet this evening. We've still got the possibility for more storms throughout the day tomorrow, as we'll see those trailing rain bands extend back into the Gulf of Mexico. Eventually, you see that path has shifted more in a north-northwestern direction. Well, eventually, that path is going to start to go back towards the east, and as that happens, well, then we'll start to see some of those trailing rain bands extend back into the state of Louisiana. So the current path now towards the north-northwest, heading towards Monroe, then Little Rock, and then it bends back towards the Great Lakes. You see we do have a couple gusts sitting at about 60 miles per hour. So here's the overall picture. Right now, obviously for us, we're seeing it spin, still very broad in nature, still a lot of dry air out towards the west, still a lot of moisture towards the east, and that's obviously the concern because there is that potential for more flash flooding across portions of the Panhandle, Alabama, Mississippi, and even back towards us as we could see a couple heavier pockets. Now, I'm not too worried about our rivers and streams, but that means the Comey, the Amite should be fine. However, the further east you march, well, the alarm or the concern starts to rise a little bit as the tickfall right now, obviously just around Holden, expected to get to minor flooding by tomorrow morning. So if you live in the area, just know that you could see those water levels quickly swell overnight. Should start to recede by the time we get to tomorrow afternoon. But otherwise, again, a bunch of rainfall still anticipated towards the Hattiesburg area, Macomb, and just lifting now north of Mobile. Again, some of those rain bands still extend back into the Gulf of Mexico. You can still see, again, a nice moderate to somewhat heavy pocket sliding through East Baton Rouge Parish. We'll zoom in just a little bit, and you can see that from Zachary, Central, down towards areas around Denham Springs, making its way back towards the Shenandoah area, and even back a little bit further south towards the downtown area. Expected to see a little bit of rainfall this evening, but not much filling in towards the tail end, which is great, and no new banding happening closer to the circulation. So as you see, for the last 24 hours, we got a narrow band of showers, a little bit on the heavier side, mainly north of I-12. Obviously, most of the rainfall today sat just around southern Mississippi and Alabama, just around the Gulf Shores area. So see, dry air, that was our friend throughout the entire day. Kept this system from strengthening before it made landfall. And obviously, it continues the week. Still got some winds out there at about 5 to 13 miles per hour. Some steady winds at about 17 in the Kentwood area, but notice a couple stronger wind gusts still sitting in the low to mid 20s across northeastern portions of the viewing area. So still expected to be breezy tonight, still expected to see a little bit of rainfall heading into the morning hours. And I still want to point out that we sit under a tropical storm warning. Eventually they will start to drop some parishes. They have done so from about Morgan City westward. So again, that's going to slowly happen as we head into the evening hours, but for at least the time being, we're still underneath it. I also want to point out that they did drop us from that storm surge watch, obviously, for our coastline from almost Grand Isle to Morgan City. Elsewhere, again, storm surge not really expected to be a concern now that the system is inland. And I think the concern here is 2 to 4 inches on average. I doubt we're going to see much more in the way of rainfall tonight. Just some gusty winds at about maybe 10, 15, 20 tops at this point, and at least our tornado threat, well, that is finally coming to an end. So still stay aware of possible conditions changing overnight. Still that potential that we could be seeing some ponding on our roadways. If you do have to get on the roadways, I think that is the key. Just remember also that you can download our app. That is our free app from the Be Our Proud app, which gives you all the latest information, all news alerts. You can also go on to our website, beourproud.com, and we are going to continue to keep you updated through the overnight hours on social media, and we will drive you into our morning coverage tomorrow morning starting at 5 a.m., and that's when Ashley Ruiz will be back on the air with the very latest, and hopefully, again, everybody stays safe this evening. Thanks for joining.